Think starting an LLC sounds complicated or expensive? Well, in South Carolina, it's actually one of the easiest and cheapest places to do it. But just because it's simple doesn't mean that it's mistake-proof. One wrong move with your name, forms, or paperwork, that could cost you a lot of time and money. So in this video, I'll walk you through every step and show you exactly what you need to get started. Now, by the way, if you mess up one detail early on, your LLC might get rejected before it even starts, but I'll get into that here in a little bit. So first, what's the big deal about starting your LLC in South Carolina? Well, for one, it's super affordable. Just a one-time $110 filing fee and no annual renewal fee, which means more money stays in your pocket from day one. But the perks go beyond the price. The state is also really serious about supporting all small businesses with straightforward filing rules and a friendly environment that really attracts both local startups and national brands. But to start things right, you need to pick a name, and there are a few quirky state rules that you need to know about. But before we jump in too deep here, here's one thing to keep in mind. So starting your business, it should be exciting and not overwhelming. But forming an LLC on your own, that can get really confusing fast with all the different legal forms, rules, and easy to miss details. Now, I will walk you through everything you need in this video, but if any part of this feels confusing, I've got a favorite LLC formation service that makes the whole process super simple and stress-free. It's guided, beginner-friendly, and it only costs $39. So if you hit any bumps along the way in the video, just go ahead and click right up here to get step-by-step help setting up your LLC the easy way. Okay, so picking your LLC's name in South Carolina is a lot more than just coming up with something catchy, and it's a detail that many people mess up by not paying attention. So the state makes you play by some very specific rules. So your company name, it has to be unique, and it can't just sound, kind of like someone else's company out there, even if you switch, a few letters or add the at the start of it. It also needs limited liability company, LLC, or LLC in the name. So don't skip those little endings as they are mandatory. And once you think that you found something that you like, you'll need to check it against the Secretary of State's online search tool to see if someone has already snagged it, which is linked to below, by the way, along with every other resource that I mentioned in this video here. And here's the thing, skipping the search, it can mean wasted time and rejected filings. And most folks, they find that it pays off to brainstorm a few backups just in case. And while you're at it, do a quick check for trademarks and grab the matching website if you can. That way your LLC, it stands out and avoids all the legal drama, that can happen. So once you have found the name and, actually filed the paperwork and everything that you need, what's the next step? Well, that's where the registered agent comes in. So let's talk about that here next. Now, a lot of new business owners, they sleep on this step, but picking your registered agent is a huge deal for your LLC. The agent's job is simple, right? They accept important legal papers. Think about, lawsuits, tax notices, and reminders from the state. So they have to be available at a real physical South Carolina address during normal business hours. Now you've got options here, right? You can name yourself or a close friend if you want as your registered agent, but this means that your personal address will go onto public records, which isn't always ideal, and your privacy's gone. For folks that are running a business from home or wanting extra privacy, that's really a risk that can lead to piles of junk mail and just your address being out there publicly, which can get scary, right? Now, that's one of the big reasons why I recommend a professional service instead. So personally, my preferred provider is Northwest Registered Agent. They're known for their, strong privacy protections, their excellent customer service, and for their straightforward pricing. Plus, I've used it myself. Now, if you hire them to help form your LLC, the cost is only $39. And one of the best perks of using them is that you can use their business address on your public filings, which helps keep your personal address private and will cut down on junk mail, things like that. Now, if you want to check them out, go ahead and click right up here to learn more about it. So next comes filing your articles of organization. And this step, it actually makes your LLC official in the eyes of the state. Okay, so here's where your LLC goes from kind of just an idea to a legitimate business in the state. So filing your articles of organization is the official step that makes your company real in South Carolina's eyes. So the whole process is refreshingly easy, right? You can file everything online using the state's website, and it usually takes like 1 to 2 business days for approval. The filing fee is $110, and that's a single upfront payment. There's no annual LLC renewal fee hanging over your head, which is unique, by the way. You'll type in some basics like your LLC's name, your business address, your registered agent info, and whether your company is managed by its owners or by appointed managers. And once you submit the form and pay the fee, you're pretty much almost there, right? The moment that approval email will come back to you and hits your inbox, then you get a certificate that proves that your LLC legally exists. Now, you skip a step or miss a detail, though, and your whole filing could be rejected. So make sure that you double check everything, especially your business name and your agent address. Now, getting official, that is a big milestone. But here's where smart founders stand out, right? They protect their business with one simple document that everyone else forgets. And if you're wondering what that is, let's go ahead and talk about operating agreements here next. Okay, so the operating agreement is basically the rule book for your LLC. Even though South Carolina, they do not legally require it by law, but having one can save you from messy arguments or confusion down the road. Now, if you've got business partners, this document, it really spells out, who owns what, how profits get split, and what happens if someone wants out. Now, even for solo owners, it protects your rights and makes your business look more legit to banks and investors, things like that. So say that you're running a business with, two different friends, right? You'll want to be crystal clear about everyone's roles and what happens if, one person moves to another state. Well, the operating agreement, it covers all that. And not only does it help your LLC run smoother, but it makes you look way more professional in the eyes of everyone else. Now, next up here, you'll need something just as critical, which is an EIN from the IRS, which unlocks your LLC's financial power. Now, getting your EIN is the secret to keeping your business and personal money separate. So think of it as kind of a social security number for your LLC. And the best part here is that it's totally free, right? All you have to do is apply online with the IRS. Now, you'll need one to open a business bank account, to hire employees, and make your LLC legit in the eyes of the government. Now, even if you're running a solo show, most banks, they won't even let you open a business account without it. So don't skip this step. The application, frankly, it's a breeze, and it takes about 10 minutes. Just hop onto the IRS website and fill in your details there. And once you've got your shiny new EIN, you're ready for payroll, taxes, and all the other official stuff. But don't officially launch your LLC yet, right? So South Carolina, they have a few compliance quirks to keep your LLC out of trouble. If you're curious what those are, we're going to go ahead and break them down here next. So keeping your South Carolina LLC compliant, it isn't hard, but skipping a requirement can really trip you up fast. So first up, for regular LLCs taxed as sole proprietorships or partnerships, you file profits and losses on your personal tax return, and each member pays income tax individually. And rates for that, they range from 0 to 7% based on earnings. Now, if you elect a corporate status, there's an initial report and then a yearly filing fee with the state, which means extra paperwork and fees. So frankly, most small business owners, they skip this until they're advised to do so by their accountant. Now, South Carolina doesn't require a state business license, but many cities and counties do. So double check with your city hall or your county office and budget for local license expenses each year. Registration is usually quick, but missing it can get your business shut down or fined. And the bottom line is that South Carolina keeps the red tape pretty low, but you'll definitely need to track paperwork deadlines, pay personal or business taxes when they come up, and keep up with your local licenses. Now, skip these and you risk fines, legal headaches, or even losing the legal protection that your LLC provides, which is no good. So next, let's break down every dollar that you spend so you know exactly what to expect with both startup and ongoing costs. Setting up your LLC is more affordable here than in a lot of other states, but it's smart to know exactly what you'll be paying. So let's go ahead and break down so that you can budget accordingly, right? And we'll start with the startup costs. So first is your Articles of Organization filing fee. That is required. That's $110 paid just once when you submit your paperwork to the Secretary of State. Next is the registered agent service. This is optional, but highly recommended. So if you use a professional service like Northwest Registered Agent, and honestly, it's really worth every penny in my opinion for just the privacy and the ease, that's $39 for the first year to have them handle filings and keep your personal details off of public documents. Next, a name reservation, that's optional. If you want to reserve your LLC name before filing all your paperwork because you just don't have time yet, that's an additional $25. And then local business licenses, these are required in many, but not all cases. So depending on your city or county, you'll usually pay anywhere between $25 to $200 to register locally. Now these fees, they can vary quite a bit, so it's always wise to check ahead. So for the first year, you can expect to pay around $150 to $200 total for everything, excluding the local business licenses, which frankly, they're just too hard for me to estimate as it just differs so much, really. Okay, so next is ongoing costs. So your local license renewal. So most South Carolina cities and counties, they require annual renewal for your local business licenses, generally $25 to $100 a year. Next, registered agent renewal. So Northwest Registered Agent, they charge $125 yearly to keep providing their privacy and mail forwarding service each year. And if you add that up, and that really is about it, and most folks, they pay under $200 each year to keep their LLC going. So stick with these basics and you really won't have surprise fees, draining your bank account. Now, again, to help with all of this, I do advise you to use a service like Northwest Registered Agent, which again, you can click right up here to check out, as they'll help you stay in compliance year after year while you focus on the important thing, which is running a profitable business. Now, if you have any questions for me at all or a little bit confused about the process, please just drop a comment below and I will do my absolute best to help you out as soon as possible. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.